What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game of the Week show, episode number 16. I'm your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week, first up, is Dan Gilbert.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
And it's a special occasion today, isn't it?
Well, because we've got Ash back.
We've got Ash back.
Yeah.
The Three Musketeers return.
Hey.
How was France?
We?
It was yes.
Yes. It was yes. It was good.
More. I know it was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's been 4 episodes since we all got together, so as we're all together, this episode's obviously going to be amazing. Just all that enthusiasm running back in.
Guaranteed, isn't it?
It's guaranteed. Yeah. Just stay to the end because this is going to be the best 25 minutes of your YouTube viewing life. Fact.
Steady.
Right. Anyway, anyone that doesn't know what the Game of the Week show is, it is 3 friends sitting around this table every Monday to discuss the latest topics in the video game industry. We'll then round out our show with our featured Game of the Week. Okay, so moving straight on with the news, and number 1 this week, and it's been announced that the Xbox One is going to be released in China today, Monday the 29th of September. Ash, as our business guru,
Well,
how big a deal is this?
Huge. China's 1.34 billion people.
That's a lot of people.
That's just a few.
Yeah.
Nearly as big as Guernsey.
They account for such a large proportion of the global consumer market that if we were discussing this earlier, if you just had 1% of that population buying a console, that's pretty good sales.
Yeah, that's still over 10 million units, isn't it? That's like doubling probably doubling what they've already sold so far.
And that's just 1%. And for those that aren't aware, China's one of those markets where breaking into it as a business, if you like, as selling anything is just so difficult. Trying to get into the Chinese market,
they're very set in their ways, aren't they, with what they like?
They are. I'm not going to profess to be an expert, but it is difficult.
They support homegrown businesses over
exactly.
imports, don't they?
Exactly.
But I think what is important, Dan, is Xbox are getting there first. They're going to be. It's not like Xbox and PS4 and Wii U is all going to be there. It's just Xbox.
Yeah. Although, the date surprised me because only earlier in the week I read something saying that apparently Microsoft were going to delay.
Yeah, well, I think it was
China.
initially supposed to be out like a couple of weeks ago, and they delayed it. I guess maybe they just wanted to make sure they had as many units as they wanted or as they feel they need.
Yeah.
To because you don't want that instance of where everything sells out on the first day, because then you're leaving sales on the table.
Yeah. Just
best case scenario, obviously, but it has a potential to really help them because obviously they are languishing behind languish. Oh fuck! I don't care. They're behind PS4 at the moment in sales. Lagging. Yeah, they're behind. They're losing.
Behind, yeah.
So this will give them a good chance to catch up. And also, just one quick final point: they're now dropping the price of the Xbox One in the UK as well.
Oh right.
So for the first time, it's going to be cheaper than the PS4.
What's it dropping down to?
$3.29. So it's going to be £20 cheaper than the PS4.
So your move, Sony, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 20 quid's not a huge amount, but it's better from where they were. They were 80, 90 quid more expensive at the start.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't come with Kinect, but
who really wants Kinect?
I like Kinect.
But back on the Chinese side of things, I think it's a great move forwards. It's a giant leap for gaming.
Yeah, one giant leap. 14 years it's been since the console was in China. So you just think that there's kids there which have probably never lived in a world of video game consoles, and now they're going to have the Xbox One.
It's a start.
It is a start. Okay, number 2 on our list, and PlayStation TV. Further details of that have been released. It's going to be coming to North America on October the 14th and Europe on November the 14th. So this is effectively PlayStation Vita, but for your TV. It has a slot so you can put in those little Vita discs. I don't know what they're called. They're not called UMDs anymore. That was the PSP, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the P.
They're
little. They're like
just SD discs.
They're SD discs.
Yeah.
So Ash, obviously you've already got a Vita, so is it much?
Yeah.
Do you see the point of this product for you, or?
For me, not personally. My Vita is solely for when I'm travelling, when I go away, and that's all I really use it for. It's so I can game on the go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to necessarily use it at home. There's nothing on the Vita that I think is, worth playing sort of sat around at home. I'd rather sit and play on the PS4 on the telly.
Yeah, sure.
And do it that way.
That's fair enough. And Dan, I assume the fact that you don't have a Vita means you had the opportunity to go into the Vita market and you haven't. So is the TV going to make you want it? Because this way you can play on your controller and use a big screen?
No, I don't have a TV in my bedroom, so the only place where I would be gaming is where my PS4 is already connected to. I don't think really I'm going to take what I feel is a step down.
Whoa,
really.
whoa.
And go into the Vita games
don't
when I've got,
step down.
Big Brother.
I don't. We'll move on. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole of a step down. Step sideways.
Okay.
Step sideways. But no, I agree. This is a very, very niche product. I think it's going to appeal to not a huge amount of people. I would consider getting one for one purpose and one purpose alone, and that's because it can also work as remote play. So you can plug it into a separate TV in your house, like Dan said, like in your bedroom, and then you can play on your PS4 using your DualShock 4 and that TV without having to move your PS4 upstairs. That is quite useful, but would I pay 80 quid for that privilege? I don't know. I'd probably just carry my PS4 upstairs if I wanted to play in the bedroom that much. But that's what it's out. It's obviously, if it sells well, if it gets the Vita into more people's, and PlayStation games into more people's home, then I'm in favour of it. But
the plus side is it's coming out in Europe a month later, so North America has to put up with all the problems first, and they get resolved in time for when Europe comes out.
Well, hopefully. But there you go. If you're interested in buying it, October 14th, November 14th. Okay, number 3 on our list, and another complete edition has been announced. This week it's BioShock Infinite Complete Edition. We don't have any details of when it's going to be released, but we do know it's going to be coming to PS3 and Xbox 360. Now, did either of you play BioShock Infinite? No? Maybe?
A bit. Not much. I never really got into it.
I personally see 3 things wrong with this release. Well, actually 4 if you count the fact that it's another fucking complete edition, which we don't need. But even ignoring that bit, number 1, why, if you're going to do a complete edition, which comes with all the DLC and stuff, the Burial at Sea, yeah, great, okay. But number 1, why not spend the time to up-res it for the new generation?
Yeah,
because people don't want to be buying new games for the old generation.
The old generation, no.
I'm pretty safe to say that the sales on that console are probably already starting to, round off and probably even diminish.
I would say they're on the downslope now. Yeah, they've peaked.
So that's number 1. Number 2, this is the 3rd game in the BioShock series. Like BioShock 1 and 2 are both awesome games. Why don't you do something like a Master Chief Collection style? Put all 3 games together and then bang it into a disc. I'd pay 60 or 50 quid for that if you could have all 3 games. Again, up-resed onto Xbox One or PS4. And number 3. And this game was a free game on PlayStation Plus just a few months ago. So anyone with half a brain already owns this game. So how many people are actually going to buy it? Because we had this conversation, I can't remember what it was a couple of weeks ago, where I said Need for Speed, where I said it would be still cheaper for me to buy the DLC rather than have to buy the whole complete edition again.
Yeah.
So there you go, there's my opinion.
It wasn't that long ago at all that it was a downloadable game.
2 months ago.
3, not that long.
Definitely within the last.
It's been this year.
Yeah.
So those are my opinion. Do you guys think it has any hope of selling? And what Ash, what's your opinion on these whole complete edition things? Because I don't think you've been around for the shows where we keep having them every week.
Yeah, I I'm not sold on them. They don't appeal to me. But at the same time, I'm sure that they do appeal to some people, as everything does.
Yeah.
It's whether you have a big enough market to market it to. But I'm not convinced, and I'm not sold on it, and I wouldn't even give it a second thought.
It's really only aimed at people who've missed the game the first time round. Really, that's pretty much the only people that are going to buy it.
It's their way of hoping, isn't it?
People who love the game already will have bought the DLC as it's come out. So they're just hoping to grab those last few people who've gone, oh, yeah,
it's
I haven't played that yet.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea, but I have to take your side and say, I think that they would be much better off spending their time and money for better purposes. Up-resing it for
if you're truly committed to releasing it as a sole package for the benefit of the consumers, rather than just trying to milk that cow one more time, so to speak. Yeah. Then you do it properly. This is a very. I'm not going to criticise it overly because they're not the only people doing it.
Yeah.
But I personally would like more of this time and money spent on new ideas. But these things must be selling. People, it's all the studios doing it, and they wouldn't all be doing it if people aren't making money off them. Whether it's an up-res or just a packaged thing with DLC.
I know, but you can't polish a turd, and I just think it's...
Well, I wouldn't say the game's a turd.
Well, no, but what you're trying to do, you're effectively just recycling old stuff, and it just, in my opinion, it just seems pointless. But then,
it must sell. But yeah,
it's not my
well, there you
business.
go. Anyone out there that hasn't bought BioShock Infinite and didn't get it on PlayStation Plus and wants to play the game, then and still plays on their PS3 and Xbox 360, then if you wait a little while longer, you'll be able to get the game bundled in with all the DLC. I don't know when, but if you meet all those criteria, more power to you. Okay, number 4 on our list, and Assassin's Creed Unity news. So obviously we're going to hand this over to Dan as the Assassin's Creed Pro. Why don't you tell us what's going on in the Assassin's Creed world this week?
For Unity, Ubisoft have started detailing what?
Ubisoft?
I hear it as Ubisoft and Ubisoft.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know. I honestly don't know which
Alone.
it is.
Sorry. I'll sit here quietly. Carry on.
No.
Carry on. Please tell me.
Ubisoft then, for you.
Ubi? What was Ubi? Sorry. Carry on. Yeah.
Detailing season pass,
Yeah.
DLC stuff. Part of it is to do with the main story, so once that's done, Arno goes off and does more stuff in France during the revolution. But they've also come out and announced Assassin's Creed Chronicles China as part of it, which is going to be a separate story. You take on the role of Xiao Jun or Yun, depending on how you're.
I'm not going to criticise your pronunciation on that because
Yeah, Matt, what's the correct term on that one?
No, I'm not going to say that. Carry on.
Yeah. And rather than being the normal open worldy art that you have, or graphics that you have in Assassin's Creed, it's going to be a 2.5D
Okay.
sort of interpretation based off, they've called it traditional brush paintings.
Okay, so it's going to have more like kind of like a graphic-y sort of art style.
Yeah. So,
That sounds quite cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I quite like that.
there's always been talk in the past of Assassin's Creed going and being in like feudal Japan.
Yeah.
So maybe this is their way of testing the Asia settings without making it a full game.
Sure, yeah. And
I mean, obviously it's a different style.
Throw it in, test the water.
But
China again as well, as Ash said, you put, the Chinese people obviously like themselves and their country, putting in a Chinese setting might make this game then appeal to more people in China. Now they got their Xbox One.
No, that's true.
it does depend on whether the game.
Yeah.
It depends if the game
releases
actually
there.
releases it. Yeah, that's true. But, you're seeing a lot of, not necessarily just games, but like movies as well, kind of being set in China. And
The right noises being made,
yeah. That's cool. We got a release date on when this will come?
It's just said early 2015 for DLC.
Okay.
Nothing.
But that
confirmed
makes
yet.
sense, I suppose. and that actually makes me happy because the game's middle of November, so it's not like coming 2 weeks afterwards DLC, because that stuff annoys me. Or day one. So you have a couple of months to probably play the game, complete the game,
forget about it, and then
something
to make it relevant again.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, number 5 and the final item on our news story this week, ending on a bit of a sad note for maybe 1 or 2 people out there. PlayStation Home is shutting down. The final shutdown is going to occur on the 31st of March 2015. Guys, does anyone still play PlayStation Home at this table?
I didn't even know it was still going.
I didn't even load it once.
You didn't even load it? I did go into it once.
I've been in it many years ago. I think when I first got my PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So we're talking, 6 years ago.
Yeah, you were like, oh, what's this thing? The first time I went into it is because I got confused because I thought it was the PlayStation Store.
PlayStation Store, yeah, same.
And I was like, oh, what's this?
Yeah. I can't believe it is still going. I mean, I was just amazed to read the story, and I was shocked that it was even still going. I mean, I can imagine it's like a deserted western scene.
What, the tumbleweed?
Yeah.
Wastelands.
Yeah, it's like no one there. It's like old, decrepit, like robotic avatars.
Yeah, they've all like turned to skeletons.
The skeleton avatars.
It's gonna be like the world of Wall-E, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I do actually know one person, funny enough, that does use PlayStation Home. So Anne-Marie, if you're watching, I'm sorry for this terrible news, but you've got a few more months, and they did say for the loyal people that still go there will be a lot of kind of free content coming out over the coming months to thank them for their continuing support. So congratulations, you 3. Free products coming your way. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think this is they're obviously shutting it down because the numbers aren't there, and it's obviously just costing them money. So, but there we go. Not really anything else to say about that. I'm not overly sad that it's gone because I never used it. Okay, so now it's that time of the show where we will feature our game of the week, and this week we're talking about Future Labs Velocity 2X. Now, this is an indie game that's currently available for free on PlayStation Plus. Yep. So make sure you do go and download it, irrespective of what we say our thoughts on this game, because it's free.
3 days left, isn't it, by the time this comes out?
Yeah, it'll probably be about 3 or 4 days left for you to download it, so make sure you do that. It's kind of a sci-fi shoot-'em-up puzzler game. You could see similarities to it from Resogun, which we've obviously talked about.
Yeah.
The objective is for you to basically get from a side-scrolling or vertically scrolling level, start to finish, and you basically have to shoot your way through like kind of certain glass and crystals and collect and like kind of rescue certain things on the way. But it's called Velocity, so like obviously the key is speed. So 50 levels in total. There's 3 objectives for each level. One is the time it takes you to complete it. Another is technically there are 4 things because there's collections for both crystals and rescues. The rescues you do in the ship, the crystals you do when you are your female character on foot. And then the 4th one is getting so many points, and you get the points by basically shooting everything there is to shoot.
Yeah, well, you don't collect, you destroy.
Yeah. Effectively. So guys, I've been playing this now for a couple of weeks, and I think it's a lot of fun. It's that very addictive game. Because it's got all those things to do. Very quickly, it gets very hard to be able to do all 4 of those just like straight away.
Yeah.
And
maintaining your speed and your time through the levels whilst causing the damage and collecting what you need to is quite hard to do.
Especially it's because it's got, when you're in the ship part, you've got that vertical scroll.
Yeah.
And because it's an automatic scroll, it's not you necessarily directing yourself up. You got to keep moving.
Yes.
You're not seeing what's coming ahead. until it's on screen. Whereas of other games, you can see what's coming up ahead, you can plan. Whereas this, it's like, oh, suddenly wall there, can't fly through that. Got to warp to the next bit, kind of thing. So you can't get too ahead of yourself, but you can shut down the amount of time you have.
That's the thing that I find really hard is because, like you said, it's continually scrolling, but you obviously got your kind of warp speed, like your speed boost, which you use for the most part. But you could very quickly speed boost up to the top and then realise you've gone a bit too far. But it's tough because the level's still going, so then you kind of crash and die and then restart. And the hardest thing I find is the teleporting, because there's a lot of kind of like walls you have to like teleport through and stuff like that. Yeah. And I figured it would just be a case of you press the button to kind of like teleport, like the kind of way you press the button, shoot. But you have to press and hold the button and then drag with the direction the little cursor to then drop it into where you want to teleport to and then release it. And being able to do all of that at speed is
fiddly.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it yet, but it is a really fun game because it's got that kind of appeal of I can go faster. I can go faster every time.
Yeah, the teledash, as I call it.
Yeah, and it's sure.
Yeah,
coining that phrase now. Yeah,
the teledash.
But it's a lot of fun. What else would you say is kind of like a strength of the game, other than the fact that it's fun? Or would you say that it's so fun that that's kind of enough on its own?
I think it is. It's kind of to me, I would say, and not everyone would necessarily agree with me, but to me it's almost like a futuristic Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
I see where you go, at least in the on-foot side-scrolling.
Yeah.
Obviously Sonic never had his own spaceship.
He should have.
That I know of.
Should have, yeah.
Well, he had tails there that could fly him, so not quite the same, but yeah.
No, the game looks good as well.
The visuals.
It's all I think it's all hand drawn. It's all hand drawn artwork.
Yeah, so it's very, very pretty.
Yeah, it's a good looking game, and I like it. I think it does have similarities to Resogun.
That's definitely in the ship. So, and this is a sequel to Velocity Ultra.
Which then had its own HD upgrade
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the thing that I like, or think should be applauded about this, is Velocity Ultra is basically the bits where you were in the ship and you were only in the ship, and kind of when you saw this game and they were kind of bringing out the almost like a new dimension, like kind of the game, and putting you on foot. I think a lot of people were worried that it was going to take away kind of the feel of the game and it was going to be very different. But I found that when you're on foot, it's actually it does play very similar. The speed is still there. It captures the essence of the game.
I mean, like, to be honest, at the end of the day, all that's really changed from your objectives is instead of from going down to up, you're going left and right.
Left to right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it's the same sort of gameplay. It's just your avatar or whatever you want to call it.
I think
changed.
Yeah, I think that's where I would assume maybe that's where the X comes into it. Oh, someone's in trouble. Fucking silence. But yeah, that's where the X comes in, because obviously you've got.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming here, like you've got like the XY axis. So you've always been doing the Y. Yeah. Y is up, isn't it? I just realised what I'm saying.
X, Y.
Yeah. So X is obviously left to right, and so that I would assume is where the 2X comes from, 2 being the sequel and X being.
Yeah.
Maybe they just needed to throw random numbers and letters at the end.
It sounds cool. Yeah, just saying Velocity's 2 and then Velocity 2X sounds way cooler.
Yeah, that's quite.
But I actually enjoy the bit on foot almost more because it doesn't have that annoyance that the ship had.
It's slightly less panicky, isn't it, when things start to build up?
Yeah, because the world's not always scrolling.
Yeah, you can stop and take a moment and be like, I need to go right here and plan your way a bit more. Whereas in the ship, it's all like, this, that, no, too far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there's any things that I don't like about the game, apart from that it gives me rage. That's
what game doesn't give you rage?
I know, I'm a very angry person.
You're an angry gamer.
But that's not a criticism of the game, that's just me not being good enough at the game. So I think it's a fantastic game.
It's a free game to download, and I think you'd have to be pretty harsh to maybe criticise a free game. It's very good. I mean, it's the kind of game that you would pay a few pound for. You'd pay I don't know, £10 for or whatever.
Yeah.
It's good enough for that. So if you're getting it for free, I think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I think fair play to Sony to have this as one of their PlayStation Plus games. To be honest, they did it with Resogun as well when it was free on release. So they're putting out very good quality games. Okay, yes, they're indie games, so a lot of people immediately go, "Oh, it's an indie game; it's not as good." But there are some out there that we really enjoy. I know we all really enjoyed Trials as well.
Oh, I love Trials.
I mean, okay, technically that's coming from you. Wait a second. It's coming from that Montreal company, French company. The ones that make Assassin's Creed.
Touche.
So it's not indie in its strictest, but it's kind of like the downloadable only game and stuff like that. Look, we'll quickly go through the trophies for the PlayStation gamers because everyone in the PlayStation community likes their trophies.
So 36 in total, or at least the list that I saw.
The 36 total, yeah. Well, I don't have them all, so I can't tell you that there's 36, but...
Is it achievable, Matt?
Is it achievable?
What looks hard on the list?
Perfecting every level.
Yeah, you got to get 50 perfect.
Because I've been playing a game where it's yes, I destroyed everything, but I didn't quite do it in the time. And then I'll go through again and do the time, and I've now got each section, so that's it, right?
Yes, doing one.
No, to get the perfect, you need to do the time. You have to do everything all in the one run.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
I think generally the game itself is going to be quite hard to do because the levels are only going to get harder.
Yeah.
I'm only up to about level 18 at the moment because I like to perfect a level before I move on.
Move on to the next one. Yeah, I'm the same.
But actually, with perfections, I'm actually only up to about 8 or 9 because it was only when I went through one of them, I was like, why didn't I get a trophy for 15 perfects or whatever it was? And then I realised that I didn't have 15 perfects. I had 3.
Oh.
So I started again now, but I think that would be the hardest thing. I mean, all the other stuff is killing a type of enemy, kind of getting
it's progressive.
Doing other little things within the game.
Yeah, there was quite a few progressive.
I can't remember the specifics, but when I browsed through the list yesterday, there were a couple that are level specific trophies.
Yeah,
there was one where you've got to hit speed boost or something like that on
basic training
level, and you've got to make sure you hit every single one or you miss it.
Yeah, basic training is boost all the way through level 3, and that I actually did that the other day. That's not that difficult because it is a very
No, I think there's another one somewhere, but like I said, I can't remember the specifics of it.
But no, I would definitely give it a go because I'm falling a bit behind you in the platinum race. So
you'll never catch me.
Well, I probably will catch you.
I don't think so.
I'm only 5 behind you. It's not that many.
Yeah, but
I'm just going to stop telling you about all these new games now, and then
I've already got a few in mind down the road this year that I'm planning to platinum. So I should be getting another. I'm up to 10 now, so I should be able to get up to about 13 by the end of the year.
My target was 10 by the end of the year, but I think that's a bit optimistic now.
It is optimistic.
So, but now closing up, very very good game. 8.5, 9. I would give it personally. No qualms. Any of you really? Or either of you care to disagree with that kind of stuff?
No, I wouldn't disagree. I'd say maybe, for me, probably, 7 to 8 maybe, I would say. It's not quite. Yeah, it's...
Do you just feel there's kind of a depth for the game, maybe?
Yeah.
It is effectively the same thing, but just getting harder.
Yeah. For
That's
me,
fair enough.
yeah.
For you, but it's personal opinion.
Yeah.
So make sure you've only got another week, otherwise you're going to have to pay for it. As Ash said, it's worth paying for. But why pay for it when you can get it for free? So
we're still talking about the game?
Yeah. Why? What do you think I'm talking about? That's actually my motto in life. Why pay for something you can get for free? But there you go. PlayStation Plus store. Velocity 2X. Make sure you go and download it. Okay guys, there you go. There's our opinions on Velocity 2X. As we said, make sure you do go download it. If you've enjoyed what we've talked about this week in the news, do give this video a like. Subscribe to our channel. If you want to discuss anything we've talked about regarding Velocity 2X or China or BioShock or whatever, anything else
you just want to discuss China.
China,
if you want to discuss China, just let us know. I'm happy to talk China as long as it's not in Mandarin. I can't do Mandarin. But for now, Ash,
Cheers,
Dan,
man.
Cheers, Matt.
thank you for your time. Let's not leave it so long next time before the three of us get back together.
Yeah.
But for everyone out there, we will see you next Monday.